Welcome back to R.A.I.N. This is part 2 of my series covering etymology, lawful versus legal, and contracts. I will begin with reading some more out of my book, Who Are You? Knowing Your Ancestors. And this is covering lawful versus legal. Page 80. Here's another important concept you must comprehend. Some people think that lawful is the same thing as legal. No, they are not the same. There is a difference. Lawful means that something is sanctioned by the law itself, while legal means that something is in the form of law. Lawful usually has some sense of morality attached to it. Legal has nothing to do with morals. Let's take it to the other side of the spectrum. If something is unlawful, then a law has been broken. If something is illegal, it means that it's void, invalid, inapplicable. All right? And to back up what I said, I will read a little bit out of Black's Law Dictionary, 4th edition, page 1032. Under the term lawful, it also covers legal. Got to read the fine print. The principal distinction between the terms lawful and legal is that the former contemplates the substance of law, the latter the form of law. To say of an act that is lawful implies that it is authorized, sanctioned, or at any rate not forbidden by law. To say that it is legal implies that it is done or performed in accordance with the forms and usages of law, or in a technical manner. In this sense, illegal approaches the meaning of invalid. For example, a contract or will executed without the required formalities might be said to be invalid or illegal, but could not be described as unlawful. Okay? Further, the word lawful more clearly implies an ethical content than does legal. The latter goes no further than to denote compliance with positive, technical, or formal rules, while the former usually imports a moral substance or ethical permissibility. All right? That was lawful, under lawful, page 1032, Black's Law Dictionary, 4th edition. So just keep in mind that if something is unlawful, it is actually breaking a law. If something is illegal, it means that it's just invalid. Doesn't count. All right? Continuing on with my book. Here's some interesting case law for you. All codes, rules, and regulations are unconstitutional and lacking due process of law. Lacking due process of law in that they are void for ambiguity in their failure to specify the statute's applicability to natural persons, otherwise depriving the same of fair notice, as their construction by definition of terms aptly identifies the applicability of such statutes to artificial or fictional corporate entities or persons, creatures of statute, or those by contract employed as agents or representatives, departmental subdivisions, offices, officers, and property of the government, but not the natural person. Okay? So, to break that down, oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. That was Rodriguez versus Ray Donovan, U.S. Department of Labor. All right. Now to break that down to make it simpler, statutes, codes, rules, regulations. They are for a regular corporate person. Now, don't get confused between person and natural person. Natural person stands by itself. Person and corporate person are synonymous. They mean the same thing. Like the state of California, that would be a corporate person. Someone's driver's license in all capital letters, that is a corporate person. All right. So remember, it's also known as artificial or fictional. And that covers agents and representatives, offices, officers, which are property of the government. That's all for person / corporate person. All right. Now, natural person is someone that's made of flesh and blood. They could pick up a pen. They could write. They could speak for themselves. That would be a natural person. But you must declare that you are a natural person. And one thing that they do to trick you in these tribunals, which they call courts, they'll put a lawyer on you. If you allow that lawyer, if you sign a contract with that lawyer, you become an artificial person. That lawyer is speaking for you. You are considered a thing or it or what have you. You're no longer a natural person. And that lawyer speaks for you. All right? So be very aware of that. And I mean, it's not that hard to defend yourself or to present your case in court. Or, I mean, in their tribunals. It just takes a little bit of studying on your part. There's some additional case law I would like to read. Every man is independent of all laws except those prescribed by nature. He is not bound by any institutions formed by his fellow men without his consent. That's Cruden versus Neal. All that's saying is that in order for someone to be in someone else's jurisdiction, especially a corporate state jurisdiction, there has to be a contract. Otherwise, if you declare yourself to be a natural person, you are not under their jurisdiction whatsoever. But there has to be they have to present a contract. I mean, in your defense, if they drag you into their tribunals, in your defense, you need to be demanding a contract. You need to place it. You need to put it on the record that you are a natural person, and you need to demand to see a contract, which gives them jurisdiction over your person, over your natural person. All right. That concludes part 2 of this video series. Etymology, lawful versus legal, and contracts. I will see you in part 3. Peace.